Hold up, wait a minute. What's going on at Chevy? Look at this. This is the 2026 Chevrolet Tahoe. Do you remember the Tahoe? It used to be just a boring utilitarian SUV. Now we're talking about two big V8s, a diesel option, 24-inch wheels, 3 rows of leather, infotainment, and towing up to 8,200 pounds. But it's coming at a big price. This one here, $97,000. Nearly $100,000. You see these things all over the place. They're like pancakes. People are just tossing them out. Every soccer field is full of them. So my question is, would Dad drive the 2026 Chevrolet Tahoe? Let's find out. Welcome to Dad Drives on Hot Cars. I'm Bradley Hasemeyer. I'm a father of 2 and a car enthusiast just like you. If you haven't seen a newer Tahoe around, your eyes have been closed. These things are everywhere, and for a good reason. I mean, it's basically the same shape as the refrigerator box that your kids play with some aerodynamic adjustments, but not much, which is why you're getting a combined 16 miles per gallon. And let's be real, it's probably more like 13, right? I mean, you got V8 options. The diesel's gonna help out a little bit, but you got the rumbles, you got the V8s, it's just gonna be fast. In terms of general styling, I like what the Tahoe provides. It really is kind of the baby Suburban. On the front, you've got this nice big vertical grille, which allows for obviously a lot of cooling of this big 6.2 liter V8 that's in this high country trim. I like some of the shaping on the hood, breaks it up, but basically it's similar in shape and style to the Chevy Traverse, which I reviewed earlier and actually was really impressed with, by the way. Basically, it also looks like a Suburban. The only difference is 14 inches of length. That's what a Suburban provides for you. So if you really need that extra storage and a little more third row legroom, that's the way to go. Otherwise, these things are hotcakes, and they start at $60,000 or $61,000. One of my favorite style elements are these lights that are frosted. They're also progressive. When you're turning, you see the light kind of like fades along the line, which is really cool. I like that. Obviously, nice kind of high belt line here. The ride height in this vehicle is exceptional. I'll talk about that when I'm talking about performance. 24-inch wheels. 24-inch wheels. I haven't even looked up how expensive the tires are for that, but you know that this is just a solid, huge, big vehicle. A lot of people are like, what is that? It's so big. Yes. I also like from a styling perspective, there's not a ton of chrome, not a big chrome guy. Chromey is not my homie. There's some nice elements here in terms of matching the body style to certain elements like the mirrors. They're not all black. See, the blue kind of matches the blue, which I like. Also, the door handles have the blue, which matches the blue. So that's really nice. Around back, all right, this is what I'm talking about in terms of that progressive lighting. See how it starts here and kind of goes across? I think that looks really cool. Out of the back, of course, 4 exhaust pipes. These quad pipes really bring like a nice solid presence to it. It is a tall vehicle. It seems like narrow and tall, and you get a little bit of help with that with the gloss black that's here. Also, you've got gloss black that runs around the back here. If the whole Tahoe was black, not only would you look like you're transporting a government official, but you miss out on some of those double color options. So I like that there's some nice contrast here. Obviously it's dirty because I've been driving it for a week. So that's really nice. The windshield wipers integrated up here beyond this little kind of like lip or spoiler, like the top spoiler here. So that's a nice design. And then of course the trunk opens, but so does the glass. The reason I like this is if you've ever had one of those situations where you've put all the luggage together so perfectly, and when you come to a stop, you have to open the trunk and try to grab something before it falls. You can just access it here, reach in, pull out what you need without having to open the whole thing, or really Jenga the whole thing and stick it way up and still be okay. And the rear view mirror has a camera on it that is, I think the camera's up here, but anyway, so you don't even have to be able to look out of the rear glass. I like that move too. You can crack a cold one. And by cold, I mean iced coffee because dad life. All right, let's talk about the interior. This is where you're gonna be spending most of your time, and this is where the Tahoe is fantastic. Yes, this is the high country trim, and it's got an additional high country deluxe trim package and it's got the rear second row entertainment package. So there's a lot of pieces that aren't gonna be on just your standard base model, but let me walk you through what is specifically on this vehicle. Starting at the left, moving to the right, one of the first things you see, this beautiful wood, open pore wood. They don't gloss over it. It's beautiful. It's right here on the top of the dash. Makes its way into some of the trim elements on the door, although I think the ones on the door might be plastic, but either way, perforated leather on the dash, leather on the dash. I have a head-up display here, 17.7 inch, beautiful, crisp, easy to use screen. Guess what? It's tilted toward me. I love that. I love when automakers do that. I reviewed the Cadillac IQ, the Escalade IQ recently. It was a 55 inch pillar to pillar screen, but the whole thing was basically centered. So the best seat in the house was back here. Not the case here. Nice big volume knob. I like that pretty much everything I need is right here. There is a giant suite of buttons to the left of the steering wheel. It controls everything from the air ride suspension, which you can lift and lower because of the upgraded package. I've got my camera button, park sensors, auto start and stop, lane keeping assist. I can go 4 high, 4 low, 2 high. I can change my drive modes. All of that, which would normally be right here or baked in, is a hard button, and I do like that. Dads like buttons. Actually, so does my 5-year-old, so that's pretty nice. He likes to come in here and push the buttons. Your climate, your major climate elements are right here. You know, fan speed, up and down, auto, all of that kind of stuff that you have. Your defrost buttons are here. Your climate temperature buttons are here for scrolling. And then everything else is right here in the dash. It does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is great. It's also got Google built in. It uses the internet. I'm sure it's part of a subscription service, but it uses the internet in the car to allow the screens in the back to access the internet and YouTube and Disney Plus and that kind of stuff with the wireless headphones, by the way. But this gloss bar at the top is very important. It means you've got Super Cruise. Super Cruise is General Motors' semi-autonomous driving feature. It's actually closer to fully autonomous. I love it. I think it's the best one out there. You can now get that as an option. That was not possible before. That makes road trips massively better. I once, when I was out for Monterey Car Week out in Pebble Beach, I had a Cadillac and it had it, and sitting in traffic with it on, it's steering for you, it's throttling and braking for you. It's amazing how much energy goes into just doing this. I know it sounds stupid, but having Super Cruise, especially for that parent, that dad who's road tripping all the time on the weekends, taking kids to the grandparents, because I don't know why they're not coming to you. It's a little bit personal, but that's what it is. Or maybe you've got lots of games that you're going to, whatever, that is massively important. So that's really cool. Nice gloss black on the interior in terms of some of those things. One of my favorite pieces in this entire vehicle, I'm not gonna put my water near my computer, that's not a smart dad move, is this center console. You use this button here and it can slide all the way forward and all the way back. It's got cup holders in the rear, so that helps the second row, especially if you're in captain's chairs because you don't have a place to put your drinks otherwise. You can lift, great amount of storage here. Easily fits a GoPro. Great for snacks. Then let's say, oh, you want a little bit more. Okay, so I slide this whole area back. Now I have this giant cubby that used to be here for the hand. Okay, and there's a slide down here as well. And you're thinking, well, that's a bummer because I'm driving, but like I like to have an armrest. There's not an armrest here. Dun da da da. The Dagineers at Chevrolet saved the day. Look at that move. I'm still set. Second row has access to the cup holders. There's a little tray. It's easier for them to touch their heated seat, change the climate control because there's 3 zones of climate in here. When I saw that, I was like, whoa, that's fantastic. I love that. In terms of drink space, you got a couple of holders here. Got a nice little like kind of drop space here, like a junk drawer, plus a wireless charging pad, which is good. Appreciate that. Big water bottles like this one still have no home. There's nowhere to go. If you would like to sponsor a large water bottle today, you have an opportunity to find a home for this large water bottle, because it's not here. I tried it here. Nothing more annoying than this sound all over the place. Doesn't fit here. Doesn't even fit in the door on the first row. It does on the second row though. So if you've got a kid who will help you out, you can hand it back to them. So that is the interior. You're gonna be happy with this. Life in the second row is pretty good. You can move your seat forward and back. Helpful for you and the person in third row. Great amount of leg room here. You've got screens with this entertainment package wireless headphones with Chevy branding. By the way, this car just has 1,000, I just put 1,000 miles. It just crossed over. So even these still have the stickers on the side. That's how brand new this 26 is. Pretty cool. This center console that I was talking about before is now in the fully reclined position all the way back here, which is great for cup holders. Still can adjust USB-C chargers, a normal port for plugging in here, map pocket, AC in the roof, which is great. There is no middle console here, so again, that's got to be here or store stuff here. If you've got a backpack or something like that, you know, road trip style, that's great. Large water bottles do fit in there. I don't know where my large water bottle went, but it does fit in there. There's two major downsides to this second row. Number one, there's no window shade here. $97,000, guys. We can't put one of those in. The second one is headroom is not as good because of the pano roof. So I have about that much room before my hair is hitting the ceiling. Granted, it's a little coiffed today because I just shampooed it, but that's kind of annoying. Third row is not too bad in terms of that because you do have better headroom there since the pano roof doesn't go all the way back. But to get to that third row is kind of annoying. So let's say you have a car seat like I do over there. You can't get to the third row that way because the only way to access the third row is either climb across the person here and go between the seats, which is doable. That's one way to do it. But if you're trying to climb in this way, you have to flip this down, then flip it up. And now I've got this much room. It's not really, I thought maybe there's a holder, there's not. So I got to slip in here. Okay, that's doable. But if there's a car seat here, not gonna work. Can't fold it up like that. So you got it over there. So that's worth noting in terms of what your family setup is. You may not have two kids in car seats and it doesn't matter to you, but if you do, that's worth noting. Oh, and one more thing. The headrest does not move up and down. It flaps because it's got to lay down, but it doesn't move up and down. I tried to move it up and down, so it's hitting me like right there. It's just an annoying thing, just is what it is. Back behind the third row, you've got a lot of space. I'm pretty impressed actually. This is my camera backpack. Big camera bag. You can fit 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 5 or 6 of these across. And that means, of course, these are like almost a rollerway. Plenty of duffels, Costco runs, no problem. Lots of gear for sports. There is underfloor storage, so it's not a ton, but it's a little bit of something else. And you can lay down the seats back here with these buttons. So let's see, left side, I'm gonna lay this down. Just like that, goes totally flat. And I can also do it with the left side on the second row. Push it twice. Once. Well, either way, it worked. So now I got a shot, straight through. Now when it comes to what it's like to drive the Tahoe, well, that's a totally different experience. Ready to go? Let's go. So we're talking about a good old-fashioned V8. And you got other brands out there using smaller displacement, tossing in some turbos, but Chevy loves to hold on to its great American muscle car roots, and they keep the 8. In fact, regardless of the engine, it pairs with a 10-speed automatic, and that automatically kind of gives you poor fuel economy numbers. Just for the record, this 6.2-liter V8 claimed it was going to get 16 miles per gallon, but I was definitely just getting close to 14 over the week of city and freeway, so that's worth noting. The High Country Deluxe package, that's like almost $8,000. That adds some cool bits and elements. It also does help in performance, especially if you're looking to tow. You got the air ride suspension, there's the max trailering package, hitch view, blind spot assist, and even an enhanced cooling radiator, which I think is pretty cool. And you can have all these goodies even if you don't plan to tow, because it's going to help your daily drive anyway. I also like how the Tahoe has magnetic ride control. This is something GM invented, created, and it's something that's found on a lot of their performance vehicles. You also get a mechanical limited slip diff, but also just from a daily dad driver standpoint, I love how high you sit. I'm driving around in traffic and I'm looking down at all the Kia Tellurides and the Hyundai Palisades, the Acura MDXs of the world. But along with that, it is worth noting this is a really big vehicle, not just because you're sitting on 24s. Parking this in a driveway, or if you're trying to precision driving, you're trying to make good turns in a parking deck or something like that. Turning radius was less than I expected. It is definitely more of a truck. Like if you had a truck and then you had a kid and your partner said, let's move to an SUV, you're gonna love the way the Tahoe drives, because it is body on frame, going over bumps. You're gonna feel that kind of seesaw effect with the front and the back. The tall center of gravity does make it a little top heavy in turns, not unwieldingly so, but it is an SUV that sits pretty high. And it is worth noting the visibility wasn't as good as I would expect. You are sitting high, but you have this long square roof in front of you, these big A-pillars. Of course, you're never gonna see all the way back behind that third row. So you do have to rely on the cameras. Thankfully, they're good cameras with high visibility, so it's worth noting. But overall, the drive and the handling is definitely more on the truck space. So if that's what you love, then you are gonna love the V8 clad Tahoe. So that's it for the Tahoe. What do you guys think? Does this deserve a spot in your driveway? Make sure you're following us on social. Make sure you're following me on social as well, at Hasemeyer for TikTok, BHaz on Instagram. We got a lot more videos coming your way, helping your dad life be a little bit easier, especially when it comes to what you drive. Thanks, have a great day, and keep on dadding.